When installing an outdoor junction box and landing a 2-inch polyvinyl chloride or PVC conduit on the top, the question arises whether a hub is required to connect the 2-inch PVC male adapter or MA. According to standard electrical practices, you can indeed use just the 2-inch PVC MA without needing to incorporate a hub. The primary purpose of a hub in electrical conduit connections is to provide a secure and watertight seal, especially when dealing with metallic conduits or when the conduit enters the enclosure from the top or side, where water ingress is a significant concern. However, PVC conduits offer inherent resistance to water and corrosion, which often negates the necessity for a hub when making connections to an outdoor junction box. The connection between the PVC conduit and the junction box, using a PVC male adapter, can be adequately sealed using appropriate PVC cement, creating a bond that prevents water from entering the enclosure. This method is commonly accepted and widely practiced in the electrical industry, particularly in residential and light commercial applications, where the environmental conditions are not exceedingly harsh. Nevertheless, it's essential to consider certain factors to ensure a reliable and compliant installation. Firstly, always refer to the local electrical codes and regulations in your specific jurisdiction. Electrical codes, such as the National Electrical Code, or NEC, provide detailed guidelines on conduit installations, including requirements for hubs, sealing, and support. These codes are designed to ensure electrical safety and prevent hazards such as short circuits, ground faults, and electrical fires. While using a PVC MA without a hub is generally acceptable for PVC conduits, there might be specific circumstances or local amendments that necessitate the use of a hub, particularly in areas prone to severe weather conditions or where the installation is subject to stringent inspections. Secondly, evaluate the environmental conditions at the installation site. In regions with frequent heavy rainfall, snow, or exposure to corrosive substances, a hub might offer an additional layer of protection against water ingress and corrosion. The hub, when properly installed with a gasket or sealant, can create a more robust barrier, preventing moisture from seeping into the junction box and compromising the electrical connections. Thirdly, consider the specific requirements of the equipment being installed within the junction box. Some electrical devices or systems might have strict environmental protection requirements, mandating the use of hubs or other specialized fittings to ensure optimal performance and longevity. For instance, sensitive electronic components or equipment operating in hazardous locations might necessitate a higher degree of protection against moisture, dust, and other contaminants. In such cases, a hub can provide the necessary environmental sealing to meet these requirements. Fourthly, ensure that the PVC male adapter is properly installed and sealed. The integrity of the connection between the PVC conduit and the junction box hinges on the quality of the installation. Before applying PVC cement, thoroughly clean both the inside of the PVC fitting and the outside of the conduit end using a PVC cleaner or primer. This step removes any dirt, grease, or other contaminants that could compromise the bond. Next, apply a generous and even coat of PVC cement to both surfaces, following the manufacturer's instructions. Insert the conduit into the fitting with a twisting motion to ensure even distribution of the cement. Hold the joint firmly in place for several seconds until the cement sets. This creates a strong, watertight seal that prevents moisture from entering the junction box. Fifthly, support the conduit properly to prevent stress on the connection. PVC conduits, especially larger sizes like 2-inch, can be susceptible to sagging or bending under their own weight, particularly when exposed to high temperatures or direct sunlight. This can place undue stress on the connection between the conduit and the junction box, potentially compromising the seal and leading to water ingress. To prevent this, provide adequate support for the conduit using conduit straps or hangers at appropriate intervals, as specified by the electrical code. The support should be close enough to the junction box to minimize the cantilever effect and distribute the weight evenly. Sixthly, inspect the installation regularly for signs of damage or deterioration. Over time, PVC conduits and fittings can degrade due to exposure to ultraviolet radiation, temperature fluctuations, and physical stress. Regularly inspect the conduit system for cracks, breaks, or discoloration, which could indicate potential problems. Pay particular attention to the connections between the conduit and the junction box, looking for signs of water leakage or corrosion. If any damage is detected, promptly repair or replace the affected components to maintain the integrity of the electrical system. Seventhly, consider using a sealant or thread sealant on the threads of the PVC male adapter. This can provide an extra layer of protection against water ingress and ensure a more secure connection. Choose a sealant that is compatible with PVC and rated for outdoor use. Apply the sealant to the threads of the adapter before screwing it into the junction box. This will help to fill any gaps or imperfections in the threads, creating a tighter and more watertight seal. Eighthly, ensure that the junction box itself is rated for outdoor use. Outdoor junction boxes are typically made of weatherproof materials such as fiberglass, polycarbonate, or stainless steel, and are designed to withstand exposure to rain, snow, sunlight, and other environmental elements. The junction box should have a tight-fitting cover with a gasket to prevent water from entering. Also, make sure that all knockouts or unused openings in the junction box are properly sealed with plugs or caps to maintain its weatherproof rating. Ninthly, when working with electrical systems, always prioritize safety. To energize the circuit before beginning any work on the junction box or conduit system, use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated tools. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, consult a qualified electrician. Incorrectly installed electrical systems can pose a serious risk of electric shock, fire, and other hazards. Tenthly, document your installation for future reference. Keep a record of the materials used, the installation methods employed, and any relevant code references. This documentation can be helpful for future maintenance, repairs, or inspections. It can also provide valuable information for troubleshooting any problems that may arise. In conclusion, while you can generally use a 2-inch PVC male adapter without a hub when connecting 2-inch PVC conduit to an outdoor junction box, it's essential to consider local codes, environmental conditions, equipment requirements, and proper installation techniques. By following these guidelines, you can ensure a safe, reliable, and compliant electrical installation.